Coming up on episode 58 of Creative Writing, we're talking about building a seriously simple social media strategy.
I can't go back to sleep, it's almost light. These restless thoughts have kept me up again tonight.
Hello and welcome to Creative Writing, the podcast for writers and bloggers who want to build an online platform without any smarmy tactics. I'm your host, Kirsten Oliphant, and I am so glad that you are here this week. So this is my second week in a row of doing 2 shows a week, and I'm not sure that I'm going to keep this up forever, but I'm going to consider Mondays the day my big show will drop, and Thursdays you might get to hear a little bit from me. A little shorter episode, not an interview, but if I have things going on and have some things to share, then this is where it's going to be. And today I'm going to be sharing a seriously simple social media strategy, or how you can plan your own seriously simple social media strategy. That's a mouthful. I'm going to stop saying that now. We can just talk about this as seriously simple social. Still a mouthful. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And there's actually going to be a really amazing freebie, and I'll tell you where you can find it in a sec. But before we get into the multiple S topic for today, I wanted to tell you guys about something that's very time sensitive. Today, as I'm recording this, it is Thursday, August 18th, and there are 2 upcoming live webinars with Nick Stevenson, and I've been talking about him the last couple podcast episodes. The first is tomorrow, the 19th of August at 3 p.m., and actually I don't know what time zone that is. And then the second is Saturday, same thing, 3 p.m., unknown time zone at the moment, but I will have all the information for you to sign up at creativewriting.com/Nick. Very easy to remember. And I want to tell you a little bit about why I'm sharing this with you guys and why I think it's something really beneficial for you to sign up for, even if you know you can't make either of those times. First of all, if you do make the times, there are only 1,000 spots. And I know this is being really heavily promoted. And as far as I know, that's not a tactic, because one of the things he talks about is not being sleazy with your sales. So it really is limited to 1,000 people. And there will be a live Q&A session. And so this really is something you do want to try to make if you're interested in the kind of training that he's going to talk about. So let me tell you what he's going to talk about. The first thing is the myth of audience growth, what everybody says you should be doing and why they're wrong. I always like those because it helps me realize, oh, I've been doing it wrong this whole time. The second is a specific 3-step formula. And I'm kind of back and forth on formulas, I'll be honest, because I don't think they always work for people or for everybody. But it's always good to see what has worked for someone, and it has definitely worked for Nick. He went from 0 to like 7 figures in 2 years, which is crazy insane. So how you're going to grow your audience and then sell to them, here's the kicker, without being smarmy. My words, he uses sleazy, but either way, it's the same thing. You don't want to be smarmy or sleazy. Also, how to avoid the overwhelm and get things on autopilot so that your whole situation is happening in the background. And actually, that's something I'm going to talk about when we get into the seriously simple social. And then there's going to be a Q&A session at the end. Again, this is why you want to be there live. And he's actually going to give people who sign up a case study to look at, which I love case studies. Those are always fascinating for me. Again, specific things don't always work for every person, but it's really good to kind of peel back what's actually happening and see, because I get ideas from that. So I don't know about you, but that's really helpful. And then you'll get the replay. So if you can't make it live or you can't get in because there's too many people, because there are going to be a lot of people, then you'll get that. And as you guys know, I've mentioned this before, but I'm an affiliate for his program, and he's going to actually, for the first time now, if you guys have done any of the trainings or gotten the free book, you're actually going to get to hear about the program. So here's a sneak peek of what bonus I'm offering as an affiliate. So if you guys end up buying his course, if you go to all the trainings, it's all free. There's no money changing hands unless you have like the most signups for things. They're having some contests and stuff, but I'm not really super concerned about that because I don't have as big of an audience as a lot of the people who are affiliates. But in any case, if you do buy into his course, I do get a commission from that. And so what I have decided to throw in as a bonus, and I'm really excited about this, his course is your first 10,000 readers. And I had a look at it, and it's a great course. I haven't been through every module, but Nick is very informative. It has a ton of information in it. I'm going to toss in my course, which is Own Your List, and it's an email course as well. but I wanted to make sure they're distinct, and they are. My course is more A to Z email. It works for anyone using email, will help you with the very basic things you need to set in place and kind of the principles to run an email list. His is geared towards authors and entrepreneurs. It's geared towards the growth side. It deals with Facebook ads and some different pieces that I don't dwell as heavily on in my course. And I'm actually revamping my course right now, so it's kind of in the pre-launch state. There's content up, but it's about to be completely overhauled into videos and fantastic stuff. So my course is a $197 value, and I think his is $597. So you'll get both of those, and I'm also going to throw in my email lists made easy book for anyone who doesn't have it. And the first 5 people that sign up will get a 30-minute coaching session with me to talk about email, or if you want to talk about something else, that's fine. But all of these are kind of email related, and so I assume that's maybe what you'd want to talk about, but that's going to be the bonus. So just to let you know, you'll be hearing more about that in your inbox if you're subscribed to me. But for now, go register for the webinar. You will get something out of it. The first hour is training. And I actually sat through this webinar when he did it last year, and I'm sure some things have updated, but it was super informative. It's not one of those bait and switch things where they're like, if you want to really get the big picture, you have to buy the course. No, it's a full training with all kinds of actionable things. So even if you know, like, I can't afford that course, I'm not going to buy that course, you will learn things that you need to know. creativewriting.com/Nick. Okay, so let's get on to Seriously Simple Social. And I have been working on this freebie for actually months. Like, I started it, and then I just didn't have time to finish it. And what's hilarious to me about it is, as you know, social media is totally changing. So this week when I sat down to finish the book, what I realized was that so much had to be edited because so many things have changed, okay? In just like the 6 months since I started working on this and kind of sketching it out. So it's a 25-page guide that is going to walk you through all of the different social platforms, the major ones. Also mention some of the minor ones that are kind of important, and then the tools that will help you manage them. And you're going to find this at creativewriting.com/058. It's about 25 pages, and it's hopefully not overwhelming. I give like about a page, maybe 2 to each platform. Some of them get more space because they're ones I'm more familiar with, and the ones I'm not as familiar with, I kind of give you my take on them, but I'm not going super into depth, and I leave a lot of links for other people who do get those platforms to share with you, best practices and tips and all that. And some of those I may go back and use if I'm not on a platform. So the thing that was funny though, is when I went back to this week, work on that, what I realized was I had to update so much, especially Instagram. Instagram has I feel like they have kind of ADD this year. Like, they are just all over the place with the changes and let's change our logo, and everybody hated it. And then let's decide to create business accounts. Okay, let's have an algorithm. Now let's have stories. Instagram is it's too many changes at once, if you ask me. But I'm not a huge Instagrammer anyway, so I am not even active on there right now. I have 2 different accounts, one for creative writing and one for, that kind of goes along with my lifestyle blog at kirstenoliphant.com. And so I'm not doing either right now. And that's part of the thing that I want to talk about, is that you can't do all the platforms. So, but as I was doing the book, the other thing that happened was, as soon as I got the final draft and clicked, export to PDF, and I was really excited, I got a notification, or went to a site and saw that Blab, if you guys knew Blab it was a live video platform, Blab shut down literally that day. And so I hadn't talked that much about Blab, but it definitely got a mention as a platform you might want to consider. And so I had to go back in and take that all out 5 minutes after I finished. And this is the thing with social media. It's really hard to keep up with. And I think that is one of the reasons. I think time is the biggest reason that people struggle with social media. The other is that it's just overwhelming. There's all this information. It's constantly changing. How do you keep up? So in the guide and in the post at creativewriting.com/058, I'm going to give you kind of an outline and some suggestions, and then the book itself, the PDF that you can download for free in exchange for your email, is going to walk you through kind of the different platforms and then help you create your own social media strategy. So let me talk about kind of the 4 pillars. So the first thing, when you're looking at social media and trying to figure this out and how it's going to work for you, you need to think about the purpose, your purpose, the platforms themselves. Then you're going to create a plan and fill in the particulars. So your purpose is your why. Hey, anybody sick of hearing why from me yet? Always. It's always going to go under everything, and there's a reason. It has to. If you don't have that purpose and why behind what you're doing, it's not going to make a lot of sense. It will not be cohesive. And people may not be able to articulate that, but they will feel it when they're like all over, like I just said about Instagram, changing all these things. People start to feel that. And when they feel kind of crazy coming from you, it does not make them trust you or feel stable. They don't know what to expect. You want every now and then a surprise is good, but people should know what to expect from you. And that comes back to your why. The platforms are the platforms. And so that's what the meat and major part of the book that I created for you guys is all about, is kind of breaking them down. And I have some kind of funny analogies for what I think each platform is like, or how I think of them in my mind. And I'd be interested to see if you share that or think I'm crazy. But some of them I compare to bulletin boards. Some of them I compare to an art gallery or a conference or a business meeting or a cocktail party. So actually, I think I took away the cocktail party and made it something else. A lot of people call Twitter a cocktail party, but I changed that. I'm not a big cocktail party fan. They're too stuffy for me. So anyway, you'll have to check out the book to see what I compare them to, but the different platforms come after your purpose. So your purpose, your why, the platforms, the social media things, your plan, which is more the overall overarching, like, okay, here's how many people I have following me now. Here's how many I want. Here's how many times a week I'm going to post. Here's the type of content I'm going to post from me and from other people, kind of the balance of how much. And then the particulars, which is the last section, are the really specific nitty-gritty things. What tools are you going to use to automate and schedule? Because you kind of need to automate and schedule, and there is a difference. And you also need to show up live sometimes. So it's going to talk about the particulars and help you draw out and design out the very specific things that are actually going to put your plan into action. Like, okay, I want to get from point A to point B. That's your plan. The particulars are how you're going to do it on the daily and on the weekly, monthly, short-term, long-term. And those are the 4 things you really need to consider. So, I mean, that is pretty simple, right? A simple social media strategy is going to deal with those 4 things. Now, it gets complicated again because of the platforms, I think, and also it is just as complicated trying to navigate through the tools. And I might have a specific, maybe next week I'll talk about tools, because that is one I still struggle with. Like this week, I actually upgraded to Popup Ally. And next week, I'll tell you if I like it or not, because I have not had a pop-up on my site. I've had really terrible, basically places to sign up for email. It's just not happening on my site. And so my signups are happening, but they're happening really slowly on both of my sites because I have not been intentional. I had a bad experience with SumoMe, not getting my emails to where they're supposed to go. And then they changed and upgraded, so you have to pay. And so people were finding all kinds of problems as well with SumoMe. And so when I started looking for, okay, what do I want on my site? Do I want one of those smart bars up at the top? Do I want a pop-up? Do I want a smart pop-up? Do I want something in the sidebar? Do I want a welcome gate? Do I want one of those welcome mats that kind of comes down and takes over your screen? There's so many things that you can have. I didn't know what I wanted. And every time I looked at a different thing, like I had all these windows open, was toggling back and forth. Like, okay, this costs this much a month. This is free. This has this, but not this. And it looked like I was going to have to use a combination of things. If I wanted more than one style of sign up on my site, I was going to have to use like MailMuch, plus also Hello Bar, plus also this other thing, plus this other thing. And I'm already paying for lead pages, and they have a pop-up option. I don't really like theirs as much. Don't tell them. So anyway, Popup Ally had about 15 of the things that I wanted on there. Probably not 15, but a lot. It was like, you can use this, and this. And it's smart. And it will keep your subscribers from seeing the pop. Like if you're using a pop-up, a smart pop-up, it'll keep them from seeing it again. And they're the only ones I've seen who can promise that. So I will tell you what I really think next week. But the tools, I think, are the other overwhelming thing, because just like the platforms, each one is different. They all have different price points. Some of them are free, some have free and paid, and you have to know how to navigate those. And everybody likes different things. I'm a Hootsuite girl. Tons of people like Buffer. I'm probably not going to switch, at least not right now, because I'm just really happy. Even if they have different things, I'm very happy. I'm very settled with Hootsuite. I use that for Twitter. Facebook, I schedule within Facebook. But Buffer has some great tools that I'm like, oh, that would be neat, but I'm not going to do it. And I just upped my Pinterest strategy, and I've been using Tailwind and Board Booster, and I'll let you know how I feel about those. I'm also part of Ahology, which is another free Pinterest scheduling tool. So I'm kind of just all over the place with the tools, and I really think this is another place people get bogged down. So maybe we'll talk next week about how to choose your tools. But I think the 3 questions to ask if you're overwhelmed with the platform area. The first thing is just know you can't be everywhere. You just can't. I do like to kind of have a presence everywhere. So I park my name. And I've heard some people say they really hate that practice, but the reality is, depending on your name, that's not such a bad thing. And I use the handle Kiki Mojo, which is my roller derby name. And I chose that way before I had started really being strategic, and I just kept it. That was for everything. I'm not going to change it. I'm leaving it there. I don't, my name is also attached on everything I have, but Kiki Mojo that's where you can find me at pinterest.com/KikiMojo. Instagram for my lifestyle blog, it's instagram.com/KikiMojo. Twitter.com Kiki Mojo. It's really nice to have that everywhere. Facebook, I couldn't have that. And so I'm Kirsten S. Oliphant. They didn't even have Kirsten Oliphant. I don't know who the other Kirsten Oliphant is, but, and that's annoying to me that my page is different. It's annoying to have all the things, because I could just say, find me everywhere at Kiki Mojo. So I tend to go and park that out. Again, I don't think anyone else is looking for that name, except apparently on Facebook, but, I do try to park and get the names. I do try out the different platforms and kind of have a presence there. I am on LinkedIn. I don't really go there very often. Every so often I check in and add things and put up maybe a post, maybe not, but I'm there. So if I want to build it up, I've already got something in place. So I do say it can be good to go ahead and have those spots there, because a lot of people will go look for you. Like maybe they'll go look for you on Facebook, and you don't like Facebook, but you kind of do need a page. You just need a page. If you ever want to run ads, you need a page. And people do look for businesses there. And so they're going to look for you on Facebook. And you can even say like, hey, I'm not very active here. Come and find me on Twitter. And have some very basic information, have an email sign up with the call to action button through Facebook. But you don't have to spend time every single day there if that's not your favorite platform. I think it's a better idea to pick one or two and really rock those out. And then maybe have a minimal presence other places. And once you get your management under control, you can add things in, and it's great. So, questions to ask yourself as you are trying to figure out which are the platforms for you. I think the first question and the easiest is, what do you like? Which platforms really speak to you? Because some of them may speak more to you than others. I know so many people who love Instagram, and I'll just be honest, it hasn't been my favorite thing. I think I felt way too pressured to make everything really beautiful, and that's really what Instagram has been about. Now that they have stories, however, there's another option. The stories they're like kind of meant to be like Snapchat, where it's just messy, it's not pretty, it's not the curated, feed of beautiful images that Instagram has been known for. So I may give that a try at some point when I have more time. This summer has been the time I stepped back. So that was a platform I stepped back from. But what do you like? I like Twitter. When I have time, I'm there. I really like my Facebook group. And if you're not in our Facebook group, it's creativewriting.com/community. So you should definitely be in there. That's probably where I spend most of my time, is on Facebook. But I'm not always updating to my page, which relates more to kirstenoliphant.com, my lifestyle blog. But I don't get a ton of traffic from Facebook. I do post there, but I am not being strategic about it because I don't care so much. It doesn't drive a lot of traffic for me. And I'm not interested in doing the work right now that it takes to get that traffic. Pinterest is another story. As I said, I've got a couple different schedulers working. I have somebody working with me for Board Booster, and Pinterest has been really good to me. And so that is where I have put most of my eggs. I'm Twitter, I'm Facebook groups, and Pinterest. And Twitter, I'm not there every day. I have been really slack again about that this summer. But what do you like if you do not like a platform? I tried Snapchat out. It was okay. I don't really like it. It's just not for me. So you don't want to force yourself into a platform that you hate. You do want to try it, because maybe you'll think, oh, Snapchat sounds terrible. And then you'll get on there and fall in love, because I do know people who have said that, both about Snapchat and Instagram and other places. And people have said they don't like Twitter, and then they really get into Twitter and they love it. That's how I was with Twitter. So what do you like? That's the first question. The second question is, where are your people? And this is kind of a hard one to answer. And the reality is often that no matter what, because of how big the social platforms are, your people are there. They are probably on all of them. Instagram, I just looked this up. It has 500 million active users every month. That is insane. Your people, they are on Instagram. Okay. So, but you can look, and different platforms have different feels. Your people may not be on Snapchat, or maybe that's where your people are. So for some more tips on this, you can actually look back to a post I did in our Find Your Perfect Audience series, and it's creativewriting.com/050, all about where to find your people and how to kind of navigate that. So you want to know, what do you like? Where are your people? And then you want to know what each platform has to offer, because, Snapchat, again, is a great way to connect with people, but it's also really hard to figure out. So if your people aren't already on there, they're not going to come find you. And it's harder with links and to drive people to different places. Same with Instagram. You have one link. That's been the big thing. And some people say that really drives traffic for them. And many people find it does not. And so you need to know what each platform offers, which again brings me back to the free guide that I made for you guys, Seriously Simple Social. And I really think this will be helpful for those of you who are struggling, or even if you think you know, but you need to up your game. You need to get that strategy written. You maybe need to expand out of the 2 platforms you've been using and get some more platforms on there. I think this will really help you with that. So that is going to be it for today. I'm going to wrap it up with that. But I really hope that you guys will know that this doesn't have to be super complicated. Yes, there's a ton of information. There's a ton of different voices out there. There's a ton of different tools and resources, but you need to find what works for you, what works for your purpose, where your people are, and then just get to know that platform and dive in. 1 to 2 platforms. Don't go crazy. Make a plan, make a strategy, get those particulars in order, and set up the particulars. Really, they help you set up a system and a workflow so that you have things that are automatically pushing out. And you have things that every week you schedule, you have a time, like maybe Sunday nights is your Twitter scheduling time, and you sit down every Sunday night and you schedule. Maybe it's, your Facebook time is Monday morning. You sit down and schedule out your week because you can schedule Facebook posts right in Facebook. But you need to set up those workflows, set up those times, and set up the systems to make all of this easier for you. So go get your guide. It's at creativewriting.com/058. Now, as we close up, I do want to remind you, and I know this is a lot of places to go. I'll put a link to the webinar sign up also in the show notes, but I do want to remind you that Nick's webinar is coming up. It's time sensitive. It's tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, the 19th and 20th of August. You want to be there. You want to sign up so you get the replay and the case study. And if you do actually buy the course, as an affiliate, I'm offering you guys my course as well. And the first 5 people will get a 30-minute coaching session with me. And you'll all get my book as well. Some of you probably already have it, but if you don't, this is a great way to get it. I'll give you the PDF version that has the integrated workbook right there, helping you work smarter, not necessarily longer. So that's it for today. I'm really thankful to Jasmine Commerce of JasmineCommerceMusic.com for the beautiful and totally unique to our show music that we have here. Definitely go check her out. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have an inspired week.